Hello, hello. My name is Pius Muchiri Mugo, and I'm the managing director of Nabo Capital. What do I do at Nabo Capital? It's a very simple thing. We are in the business of making people wealthy. So welcome to my class in session on investing with purpose. Let's have some fun.
What does investing with purpose mean?
So that's a very good question. What does investing with purpose mean? You know, I meet a lot of people out here, and because they know I'm in the business of investing, they ask me, Pius, what rates are you guys offering? And I tell them, wait. The investment profession is like medicine. It's like, I'm like a doctor. If you ever meet any investing professional who just tells you what to invest in, just know that's a quack. Because you don't go to hospital and you're prescribed a medicine without first of all knowing what you're suffering from. So if you come with a neck problem, we sort out a neck problem. What do I mean by this? Investing is not a hobby. Investing is a life skill. So we help people to achieve their end goals. So our purpose is not to help you make 1,000% return, 100% return, 50% return. That means nothing. Our purpose is, how can we help you to achieve your financial goals? What are some of the financial goals that we tend to meet most of our customers with? Education. 9 out of 10 of our customers tell us, I am investing for education. So instead of allowing them to try and craft the solution themselves, we use our financial expertise to say, okay, let me give an example. I think it's easier to give an example. We had this colleague of ours who unfortunately passed on in 2006, and he left 2 kids. One was in, I think, standard 4. The other one was in nursery. After we were done with all the burial arrangements, it was time now to distribute the benefits. And he had said, very jokingly, if anything happens to him, please divide the benefits into 4. My wife, my mother, my son, my daughter. So the children were underage. So we need to find out how to go about that. But they were all in school. The mother was taking care of widows and children who had been left behind by his brothers. 9 brothers had passed on, 8 brothers had passed on before him, leaving very many children who had become dependent on him, and now he was gone. And now this old woman was going to be the sole breadwinner for them. So we said, you know what, let's call them to the office. We called them to the office. We told the old woman, if we send money to you, we think it would even risk your life because everybody will know you have money. Why don't you allow us to form a trust for you, and then we'll be disbursing money to you to be able to pay school fees for these children. She said, tick, I will go along with that. The children, it was obvious we had to also form trusts, so we formed 3 trusts. That was 2006. Then I sat back. I asked myself, this son who was in standard 4, why is he likely to go to high school? Why is he likely to go to university? What are the costs of university? How much is it likely to be that time because of inflation? So we did all the numbers, and then we now put together a plan and made an investment where we were going to get cash flows. And those cash flows were going to be used to pay for their school fees and anything else that they need, like shopping and all that. Fast forward, we're in 2024. They have never touched the money that their father left behind.
The principal.
The principal. In fact, it is more than what he left behind. Number 2, the son finished high school, finished university, and came and interned at our business for about a year or 2, and went and set up his own business. But even now that he's a major, he is like, this portfolio should continue being with you guys. He's a major. Then the other girl, she is, I think, just finishing Form 4, or just finished Form 4 last year. The one who was in nursery never touched her money. Her money is intact. It's as if their father is still alive. Now, the old woman in upcountry also has educated almost all the children. Every month, every term, we send money to them. That has brought a different kind of satisfaction to me. It is more than making billions of shillings, because we've seen lives change. And this is just one of the story. So what was the purpose? The purpose was to invest for education. Then we asked ourselves, why should we do this for people when they're dead? Why can't we do this for people when they're alive? And now we have given this opportunity to everybody, including myself. I'm also in it. Yeah, my kids, for my kids to go to school wherever they are, I counted, if I was to pay it out of my pocket, it will take 14 years for them to finish from KG1 to grade 12. Guess how much it was going to cost me? 14 million shillings per child.
Per child.
Per child.
And they're how many now?
And I have 5 kids. So I was like, this is quite an investment. Actually, not an investment, because that is money leaving us.
Yes. It's quite an expense.
It is quite an expense. So I said, ask the team, the investment team, what size of portfolio do I need to educate my child? I was in shock with their response.
Can I ask what that was?
They came back with a solution. See, if I build a portfolio of 80 million shillings for every child.
80?
8 million.
8
million.
Okay.
Meaning 6 million less than 14, which would leave my pocket. I would be able to educate my child without ever going back to my pocket for the 14 years that they will be in school. Now, the icing on the cake is that on the principal, I would still have a big chunk of my principal by the 14th year. Enough to take them to university wherever they want to go. America, UK, nowadays people even go to China. So that is investing for education. The purpose is education. And I discovered, you know what? The rich people, they don't pay education from their pocket. They have portfolios that pay for education, but the principle is never touched. So if you create wealth here, you never go down. But majority of us, you create wealth here, you use it to pay for education, you come down, and then like that, you're always going up and down. So we call some of these things the big disruptors of life. Home ownership, education, medical emergencies, they're called big disruptors of life. What does that mean? It means if you don't take care of them individually, when they happen, your life goes into chaos. You might not even have food to eat because you have somebody who is in the hospital. What do most people do in their prime life when they're earning their highest? They pay for education and they get into a mortgage, home ownership program. That's the only thing that most people achieve. But that also explains why majority of the people, once they retire, the majority of them are poor and their glory days are behind them. That should never be a story of anybody if you invest with purpose.
So powerful. To dwell on this investing with purpose conversation, I want us to demystify then. What is investing? What's the difference between investing and saving? If you were to break it down very layman to the audience watching, this is the class in session, what would you say investing is?
Okay. Let me start by an observation that I made, and I want you to imagine this. You have friends.
One of them is seated here.
One of them is seated here. I want you to think about 2 or 3 friends you have. I want you to remember where they all live. Just picture which schools their kids go to, which clubs they visit, the kind of entertainment that they have. Hold that picture. Now, I also want you to think about where do they make their money? How do they finance this lifestyle? Are they employed? Do they have a business? It's one of the two, right? Now, I want you to think 20 years from today, yeah, I'm assuming majority of them, average age will be around 40. So 20 years from today, they will be what?
60.
60. I want you to ask yourself one question. Do you think they will be able to afford the same lifestyle that they have today if they continue with the way they live?
I want to keep my friends. but I don't think so.
Very simple. If you look at, I look at Nabo Capital today, the average age is below 30. The average age in our organizations is below 30. So assume I'm 40. 20 years from today, I'll be 60. Okay, I'm not 40, I'm over 40. I'll be 60. Do you really think, should I really imagine myself still in Nabo Capital? So majority of the people we are discussing here, they will not be in the jobs that they have today.
True.
Their businesses, 20 years from today, might also be completely disrupted by technology or anything else.
Redundant completely.
Completely made redundant. So the question is, 20 years from today, can they still have 2 cars parked outside their houses? Can they still afford to buy a new car, refresh a new car? Or will they hold on to their old car? Will they be able to maintain, even if they own the house, will they be able to maintain the same house that they live in? Pay the same gardeners, maintain the nice lawns, have the nice things that, you know? And the sad answer is, for me, in my own observation, has the majority of the people are not prepared for what is to come 20 years from today. Now, here comes investing. Investing is about depriving yourself instant gratification, delaying it so that you benefit. You pay the price for the future today.
Whew. Say that again. I love it.
Investing is about thinking 20 years from today and doing something today that will impact 20 years from today. It is dictating how your 20 years from today, how it will look like and how you will live your life. That's investment. That's what investing is all about. Investing is not a hobby. Investing is not something you do because you hear people are doing it. Investing is something you do because you must do it so that you see your future, how it's supposed to be.
This is so powerful because what I've not had you negate is age.
Absolutely.
So if 20 years ago I had watched this class in session and listened to somebody say the exact words that are leaving your mouth and acted accordingly and consistently, I would be now reaping the fruits for every sacrifice and delayed gratification that I did along the journey.
Absolutely. So let's come back to investing. Investing has only one purpose. One purpose. To help you to make money while you're sleeping or while you're doing the things that you love to do every single day of the year. Investing is about helping you to make money while you're on holiday, while you're taking care of a loved one, while you're doing other things, while you're pursuing, even this one that I love the most, while you're pursuing your ultimate earthly assignment. Investing is about generating one thing, passive income. And that's what we call passive income, the money that you make while you sleep. Investing is about changing the whole rhetoric about money. It's about money working for you instead of you working for money. Majority of us, if you didn't come from an extremely wealthy family, at some point you had to work for money. But that is not sustainable. And that's why most of us, including our friends, will not be able to maintain the lifestyle that we have today, 20 years from today. Because if you are still working for money, if you're still working to pay bills, if you're still working to pay education, if you're still working to do all these things, and if you don't do them, they will not. If you're not working, those things will not happen. Then that means you're living on active income.
Active income.
You're living on active income. And that is not sustainable because we have agreed 20 years from today, most of the people will not be doing what they're doing today.
With how technology is going, 20 years even feels far.
I am just being extravagant here. With time. But if you are 40 years today, 20 years, which is a very short period of time, in a very short, you'll be 60. You cannot be looking for a job when you're 60. You'll be the oldest, you'll be the slowest guy in the team. Unless you're in this career that mature like wine, you know, you're a doctor. Okay, you're an investment professional like us, also we get to mature.
If you like talking on camera.
Yeah, if you like talking on camera. Yeah, but we don't know. This thing that we are doing today that is called, that we are shooting, we don't know how this will be happening 20 years from today.
True.
Yeah, people will just be pressing a button and they record themselves. And it comes out the best. No human being can be able to do that. We must be prepared for that future. But the thing is this, investing is about putting down the money that you would have used today aside, and in putting it somewhere where you demand a return from it. And then that return grows, which is what we call passive income. And then you start living on that passive income instead of living on active income. Everybody must make that switch.
I love the conversation already. So insightful, so much value. I want to go back to the question that I asked. And that question is, you never put an age limit when you gave your example on investing.
No.
So, investing with purpose, who is it for? Who can invest with purpose? Is it for, actually, I just throw that to you.
Investing is not for some people or some organization. Investing is for everybody. And I keep saying again, investing is a survival skill. So investing with purpose is for everybody. A billionaire, somebody who is listening to me and lives in the slum, investing in purpose is for them, is for everybody. And we look at investing like building a house. If you're building a house, you start from foundation.
Yep.
Then you go to the walling, roofing, then you do you start doing the interior and any other thing that you want to do. But you must start from the foundation. Now, this is what I like about investing with purpose. Whether you're a billionaire or you come from the slum and you come to me, I'll ask you, if what you do today to earn a living was disrupted and it no longer it can no longer provide for you, how would your life look like? Can you sustain the lifestyle that you're used to today? And as long as you have active income,
the answer is no.
The answer is no. So we ask the question, how much do you need to survive if everything else that provides for you ceases? How much do you need to still live in the same neighborhood, drive the same car, go to the same clubs, have the same friends? How much do you need? Take your kids to the same school. How much do you need? And by the way, it's funny enough, even billionaires just tell me 100 to 200,000 shillings. Others, they will also have their goals. Someone from who is not as privileged will also have their number. Maybe 20,000 bob, or 30,000 bob, or 10,000 bob, whatever that number is. We make it our goal. How do we start a portfolio that will provide that 10,000 bob every month? That 100,000 bob every month. And that portfolio, we have a name for it. We call it lifestyle portfolio.
Let's break down this conversation. What is then a portfolio?
Thank you. That's a very good question. A portfolio is a combination of assets that we have put together that can generate the passive income that is necessary for you to be able to maintain your lifestyle or whatever goal you have for a very long period of time. So if you look at, for example, the family that I gave an example of my former colleague, there was a number we came up with. If we can have this number every month or every quarter when we need to pay for school fees, call it 200,000 bob. we can be able to educate these children until they finish, and they will still leave the inheritance untouched. And that's exactly what happened. That was an education portfolio. But now for a lifestyle portfolio is, if you need 100,000 to pay your bills, pay your rent, pay everything, we'll say, you probably need, I don't know, 5 million, 10 million, Bob, whatever it is. What's a combination of assets? Maybe we'll buy some treasury bills, we'll buy some bonds, or whatever it is. That combination of assets that generate that cash flow is what we call a portfolio. It is your secret sauce.
It is what uses your principle to then create
it's a combination of assets.
Yes.
Yes.
So, sticking to this portfolio.
So I can give an analogy.
Okay, give an analogy.
When you go to hospital and you're suffering from malaria, the doctor, you see, you have a purpose. The purpose is to treat
the malaria.
You have symptoms of headache, and then there's the malaria itself. You may not be having appetite to eat. When you go to, when the doctor listens to, he puts together a combination of medicine, a combination of drugs that will sort out the headache, will sort out the appetite, and then will sort out the real issue of malaria.
Yes.
Those three drugs are a portfolio of drugs. But they sort out one big issue. So for us, when you come, your problem is what? Lifestyle. If anything, if things get disrupted, you can't survive. That is a problem we set our eyes on. So we put together a combination of things that will give you the income just enough for you to survive when your business is disrupted, or when you're told at work your services are no longer required. That's a portfolio.
I'm going to stick on this portfolio conversation because suddenly it's opened up my mind to the amount of different types of portfolios you can create.
Yes.
That's the amount of different people who can use portfolios. Let me give an example. If I'm in the diaspora and I know it's January, but I know in December I want to come to Nairobi, I want to go to Mombasa, I'll need about 300 Gs in cash. I want my tickets paid for, or even my tickets, I'll pay for that. It's okay. Can a portfolio be created for that?
That is what investing in FAPA is all about. There is no goal that I cannot help you to achieve. I even had a client who wanted to buy a Range Rover every 5 years? See, I hate driving old cars. So I wanted to put together a portfolio that I can always buy a new Range Rover every 5 years. I sell the old one and I get a new one. So you say, how much does a Range Rover cost? It costs X amount of money. Okay, fine. So how much will you put in the portfolio every month? X amount of money. And by the 5th year, if a Range Rover costs 25 million, we'll have 25 million shillings ready to buy a brand new Range Rover. He won't even feel it, because we've been buying a Range Rover for 5 years without knowing. So if you want to go on a cruise, I had another group of women. You see, ever since they got to 50 years, every so often they go and do a cruise, all of them. So every 2 years. So they say, set up a portfolio for us. Every 2 years, we are guaranteed we are going on a cruise. Ticket is paid, the whole trip is booked, everything is booked, and nobody even feels any disruption in your day-to-day life, because we have been doing it for 2 years.
Oh.
So whatever goal you have, even through Chums, which is an app that we will discuss a little bit about, we even have a goal for someone to take their date on to a nice restaurant, a 5-day goal. I'm saving up So like the people who are in campus, I want to take someone on a date next weekend. Start putting money every day for the next 5 days or whatever time you have. And on that day, you come withdraw everything, you take her for a date, and you guys have a good time.
I've got to ask this one before I transition to the next question, because I'm loving this conversation. CTA is under a company called Moapi Entertainment. Moapi Entertainment has expenses that we pay constantly when we're doing a shoot like this. Venue, there's our good friend Izo equipment, there's all these different things that are needed in order for a shoot like this to happen. Moapi is not an individual. Moapi is an institution. Can institutions then create portfolios?
Absolutely. We do it every day. We have one organization that, just to give an example, we have one organization that came and said, you know what, we have this amount of money. We do not want to touch it. They actually sold a very good asset. See, now we have this amount of money. We don't want to touch this money, but we want you to use this money, create a stream of cash flows or passive income that can help us to pay our operating expenses every month.
Oh.
So, see, our operating expenses are 100 million every month, or 50 million, or 20 million. Say, okay, fine. Say, okay, we have this size of portfolio. What can it be able to do? How much money can we generate with it? You say, okay, we can actually generate 20 million a month because it's a sizable portfolio. It's not a big asset. So it's what? It's been like 5 years.
So this company doesn't work to pay salaries?
No.
We're talking profit from a day. I mean, the expenses are reduced crazily.
Whatever they do with their core business now is for growth. So they introduced this line called investment income. And that investment income takes care of their operating expenses. So even NABO, I remember just before COVID, we were doing something called 4DX, the 4 disciplines of execution. And this exercise, we asked ourselves, what is the one thing that if we did would guarantee our business survival for 100 years? And after a long debate, we came up with this idea, recurrent income.
That's true.
We need recurrent income. We need money that is coming into the business without necessarily our customers coming through the door. So we said, we stopped looking at our revenues per year. We started looking at what are our revenues per month.
Yeah.
Then he said, if our revenues per month are
X amount,
say 50 million, we want our expenses per month not to be more than 30 million. Because then you create this cushion. So we call it RPM, revenue per month. So we said, if we are to boost our RPM, what do we need? And we said, there is a profit that we normally make. If we were to consolidate that profit and keep accumulating it, we'll have our own portfolio as NABO. So we start building a portfolio just for NABO. And the first thing that I wanted that portfolio to do is to be able to pay the salaries of all our employees every month.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of what we do in business, regardless of the ups and downs of business, if this portfolio can pay our employees, that's one big expense line taken care of.
And guaranteed motivation. At least from the...
Yeah, but it removes pressure from the business to perform regardless of environment. So we built a portfolio. And then March 2020 happens.
What?
COVID happens. You can't show up in the office. You cannot meet any customer. You cannot pitch. You cannot sell. And let me tell you, this portfolio came through for us. We never laid off anyone.
No way.
We never reduced anyone's salary.
No way.
In fact, we recruited some people during COVID. If it was not for that forethinking, COVID would have hit us very badly. You know what COVID did? COVID exposed the businesses. I'm paraphrasing. I'm just using another. Where they say you only know who is swimming naked when the tide goes.
Yep.
The businesses that depended on a customer to come to show up so they can pay for their lights and for their other bills, they were exposed by COVID. Those are the businesses that were retrenching, because if the customer never showed up, nothing, no shilling went into the bank account.
Pius, are you trying to tell me that businesses are in the job of creating a profit to build a portfolio?
Every business should have a portfolio and should have an investment income line. Because what do they do with these profits? They must create a portfolio where things can do, they can be able to create investment income line, and when future opportunities come, they can dip into this portfolio and seize opportunities. And then those opportunities generate more cash flows, and those cash flows continue enriching the portfolio.
In fact, forgive me.
So it's a cycle.
It shouldn't even be considered as profit. It shouldn't be taken from profit. It needs to be looked at like rent. Do you know how you look?
It is the same financial principles of individuals apply also to organizations.
Uh-huh.
We tell individuals, a person must live within their means. Within their means means below their means. So that you have headroom. Organizations too must live within their means. They should not spend all their revenues. This cushion that is created, where does it go? It is not created just to sit in bank accounts. It is created so that you form portfolios, and those portfolios start generating investment income line as you look for more opportunities. And when you find these new opportunities or expansion programs that you get into, you dip into this portfolio without having to ask for your shareholders for more money, and then you boost more revenues, and then you create more cash flows, and then cash flows still continue pumping back into the portfolio. Yeah? So if I see a business that has investment income line, it draws my attention. Let me surprise you. Insurance companies, where do they make their money? It is a known thing that insurance companies make underwriting a loss or a break even. You just go look at the accounts. We are in first quarter of the year. Where insurance companies make money is investment income line. The best insurance, if I want to know which insurance company to go with, I look at the investment income line. That one is unlikely to disappoint me when my claim crystallizes. So, even a business has purpose.
Yes.
So some businesses, they give us their portfolios to grow their shareholder wealth. So we continue growing it fast, and they only are left with just what they need. Others, they say, please manage this portfolio, and we'll be coming every month to withdraw some amount of money so that we can pay for our expenses. That business, imagine the kind of freedom we give them to take risks and experiment and do amazing things. They operate with a completely different mindset, because they're not trying to capture customers to pay bills. They're trying to capture customers to solve real human pain points. Those businesses are positioned to completely blow away a customer, because they don't need the customer to survive. And the same thing to us. I always say, I'd love to go to a restaurant and be served by a waiter or waitress who does not need to be paid to survive. that waiter or waitress would serve me with the best smile. Because they come there like, I love what I do. Because I meet amazing people. The kind of engagement that waiter will give you will be like, I want to come back and I want to be served by the same person. The mindset is different.
What is it that has prevented us from having this mindset? First of all, I'm very grateful that you're here sitting down and pulling down the veils from the eyes of people. Let me even just, that was more a statement than it is a question.
Yeah.
Where to start? Because I'm hearing this is for everybody. If you're in the diaspora, if you're an institution, if you're young, if you're old.
Actually, you asked me about the diaspora.
Yes.
We have customers in diaspora who tell us amazing things. I live in the US. I come to Kenya once in a year. I want, when I come to Kenya, to spend Kenyan shillings. Not convert dollars into shillings. So for a year or two, they're just building a portfolio.
And are they necessarily building this portfolio in shillings or?
In shillings.
Okay.
So when they're coming to Kenya, they say, I'll be in Nairobi 2 weeks from today. Please fund my account with 300 or 400 or 500,000 bob. When they land, they find 300, 400 or 500 bob in their bank account. And that is what they use when they're here. They buy presents for people, they gift people, they do all manner of things. Zero pressure. Zero pressure. Others, they say, I support my parents, 20,000 bob every month. Can you create a portfolio that can be able to support can be paying this 20,000 every month? We create a portfolio and we start paying whoever the beneficiary is, or 20,000 shillings, maybe their mother, their father. You know what that does? It completely changes the dynamics, because this mother or father or parents who are dependent on this person who is in diaspora, we delink the two. And if something happens, maybe the person in diaspora loses their job, or something happens that is unfortunate, it means their loved one continues to enjoy the same benefits that they were enjoying even before. So you don't create dependencies. You help the people you want to help to be independent and not to be dependent on you regardless of circumstances. And that's what investing with purpose is all about. So the reason why people are not doing it is because our mindset of investing is the old way. How much return is Nabo Capital generating? Which fund manager is generating the best returns? Which is a big thing going on? Bitcoin, people are buying land. People are just investing haphazardly. But investing, and I want everybody to remember this, is like building a house. You must start from the foundation. Foundation means when the worst happens, where will you fall up to here, or will you fall to the ground? The lowest you should ever fall is where you maintain your same lifestyle that you have today. That's the lowest you should ever fall. You know, Richie, there's so many things that go on. I every time I drive into town very early in the morning and I see people sleeping on the streets of Nairobi or under the bridges, covered in a sack or something, I ask myself, how come this person does not care about his security? Because you cannot even imagine one night outside. And I realized, you know why? When your lifestyle falls below a certain level, you lose your human dignity. And when you lose your human dignity, you no longer care about security. In fact, you acquire like animal instinct. You know, you lose human dignity. Investing should start with that foundation to make sure you will never ever lose your human dignity. You will be clothed to you and your children. You will have food on the table. You will have a roof on top of your head. Those basic things. Whether you are a billionaire or whether you live in the slums, you must take care of them. And it doesn't take a miracle to do them. So forget returns.
Yes.
Let's make sure if the worst happens, you will never fall below the minimum
And if the
dignity that you deserve.
And if the best happens,
And if
you're going to have so many portfolios.
And now there are more portfolios.
To enable you to achieve all these different visions and dreams that you have.
Freedom.
Okay. We're coming back to the next question.
Financial
That's just
freedom.
the first question. I want to understand money. So my question is, what is money and how does money work?
Economic textbooks say money is a medium of exchange. But I think you need to appreciate the profoundness of money. And it reminds me of a conversation I had from Elon Musk. And he said, money is an exchange. And it's an exchange. Let me just paraphrase it for him, because he put it in a more complex way. But this is what he was saying. The rich folks see money as a medium or a tool to produce goods and services to solve human pain points. So Elon Musk and the few people who are at the top there, they don't get excited to see their bank accounts with a huge balance, because money is not an end in itself for them. When they see money, they ask themselves, what can I use this money to produce goods and services and solve a problem for humanity that will change people's lives forever. That's one view of money. The other view of money is now the rest of us. We see money as a tool or a medium to pay for our bills and our entertainment. You pay for your cable TV, you go to watch AFCON. When you have money, you can spend. That's what many of us believe.
We buy the goods and services produced by the rich.
So we use our money to pay the goods and services produced by the rich. So who has the correct perspective of money? This 1% rich folks have the correct perspective of money, because money does not excite them. What excites them is solving human pain points. And when they solve human pain points, they produce even more money. Money chases them. Everybody is looking to give them money. But us who want to pay bills, money does not chase us. We chase money. Because the bills are chasing us. So,
from the perspective, I know you've given the Elon Musk analogy.
Yes.
But I know that your mentor and your good friend was also a Kenyan billionaire.
Yes.
The late great
CK.
Yes,
Dr. CK.
Dr. Chris Kirubi.
Yes.
Who we had the privilege with ISO to come and shoot you. Hey,
Yes.
We've come full circle. Eh?
Yes. Yes.
I'd like to understand, was this his same mentality?
Same mentality. Same mentality. Look at how many companies was Dr. CK involved. I can't be able to name them, all of them. It's impossible, because every time I would ask him for money, or you would ask him for money, he said, I don't have. But if you show him a good opportunity, he will find the money. So I normally call this kind of people hunters. They operate with this philosophy. Show me the opportunity and I will find the money. They are hunters. They are constantly hunting for opportunities to produce, to impact. So Dr. CK's legacy is well known. Tens of thousands of people that he employed. We are his children. We are his byproduct.
Yes.
Yeah? Because he used his money to produce. Entertainment was a very small fraction. I traveled with him, and if you look at how much money these people create and how much they spend, it's nothing. One of my most memorable moments in my period at Centum was 2004. One of my first assignments I was given was to write dividend checks. And the first dividend check that struck me was Dr. CK's dividend check. I still remember. It was 58 million shillings.
2004.
2004. The profoundness was that I imagine this man could spend 1 million shilling every week from the beginning of the year to the end of the year and still remain with change. From one dividend check from one company. And he had many. Passive income. Talk about making money while you sleep. So this money was coming from production. It was coming from companies that were involved in doing big things. HACO is doing what it's doing. DHL is doing what it's doing. Centum doing what it's doing. Smart doing what it's doing.
Capital doing what it's doing.
Buyer doing what it's doing. Other Capital doing what it's doing. Production. So if you look at the bank account might look like just yours and mine, but it is not a representation of his wealth. The representation of his wealth is in the assets, in all these things that are producing and are constantly growing. So his conversation every day was always with people who are running these businesses and solving problems, unlocking, clearing the paths for them so that they can be able to grow their businesses. They grow their businesses, they grow the cash flows. When they grow the cash flows, they pay better dividends. More money comes to him. More portfolio keeps growing. And as the portfolio is growing, more opportunities are coming. He's grabbing more opportunities. And it's a cycle.
So how do you look at money?
Money is a game. Money is a game. Money is not about going to the best hotels, holidays, and all these things. Those are just byproducts. Money is a game, but the real power of money is in the impact that we can generate on other people. How many employees do you have? How many families can say they draw their incomes from you, from your ideas? Money is supposed to power these ideas. Money is supposed to power these production ideas. And you change the world. When you change, money just chases you. So money is something that is completely misunderstood, because the focal point should never be money. The focal point should be value adding.
The end game isn't money.
The end game should never be money. The end game should be of adding value. So these two things you need when you have money. You need production and you need portfolio. The production produces cash flows. The cash flows go to the portfolio. The portfolio grows, continues generating passive income. When new production opportunity comes, money leaves the portfolio, goes into new production, and then that also continues producing, pumping new cash flows into the portfolio. So this portfolio is ever growing. You know, I'll tell you one thing that really sunk in me after Dr. CK passed on. Because I used to ask myself, how does he run all these companies? How does Warren Buffett run all those companies? Do you know what I discovered? Rich folks don't run companies. They run their portfolios. Dr. CK always used to look at how much cash flow is coming from these companies into his
portfolio.
So the companies that are not bringing cash flow to his portfolio,
There's a problem.
So he will make a lot of calls there. But the companies that are okay in producing cash flows, he'll call and say, keep going. But what is he guarding?
His portfolio.
His portfolio. Warren Buffett does not run all those companies. It is management that run all those companies. There is only one thing that concerns him. How do all those companies associated, how do they impact his
portfolio?
His portfolio. He's an allocator of capital. He does not run company. He's not even does not even consider himself an entrepreneur like you. He likes entrepreneurs like you because you produce cash flow for him. So he runs one business, and that's why it is so simple. Dr. CK used to tell me something very interesting. Pius, follow the bee and you'll find the honey. Do you know what he meant by that? Follow the cash flows. You'll find the best businesses. The best businesses always have the best cash flows. And you find those businesses with best cash flows, they're the best investments.
Because they build your portfolio.
Mindset.
What I'm hearing you say, generational wealth is transferring a portfolio. Because portfolios, the principle never decreases.
Let me put it differently for you. You've almost gotten me to parting shot. You know, Esther, your children will never inherit CTA. Your children will never inherit all the businesses that you own. They will inherit your portfolio. Because they are not you. They cannot run CTA. They cannot run those institutions like you. And in fact, they will not even be interested. But what they will be interested in inheriting from you is your portfolio that you have created out of those businesses, which is run by Nabo Capital. Which means also it will not be demanding their time. So it is the cash flow that comes from your portfolio that will be of interest to them as they pursue their own purposes, earthly assignments. As they travel through the world. The best inheritance you can give your children is not assets, it's passive income or cash flows. That's the best inheritance you can ever leave to your children. Let the businesses be run by professionals. Let CTA be run by professionals. Let everything you get be run by people who have the same assignment as you or related to you and are passionate and have the expertise for it. Don't change your children to be you. So the best inheritance you can ever leave behind to your children is passive income, not assets. And do you know what happened? I've discovered. Because I deal with all of these people, wealthy people. When you're asset rich and cash poor, and you leave that as an inheritance, the first thing that your children do
is to
sell off the assets. Be like, what was dad thinking?
And dad at the time could have been trying to think with the time. So at that time, this, for example, a land piece in the middle of nowhere or in his shags was wonderful for him to leave to you because we're coming back here.
That is we must change our mindset. from a mindset of poverty to a mindset of abundance. From a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance. This thing of owning land that produces nothing is a poverty mentality. If you own
the land is not adding to the portfolio.
Yes, because what does economics say? Land is a factor of production. So if land is not involved in production, that's dead asset. So even to you, whether you are born 100 years ago, is still the same principles, and you're not doing well. So the true barometer of a good portfolio is the cash flow it generates. The true barometer of a good asset is the cash flow it generates. In fact, any asset that removes money from your pocket is not supposed to be called an asset.
So,
it's called a liability. So if you have a piece of land and you have to have security, gardeners, and it brings nothing into your pocket, that is a liability.
What strategies can individuals employ to escape the cycle of the rat race and transition into a life aligned with their true purpose?
How can an individual escape from rat race and start pursuing their purpose? This is exactly why is exactly what I believe is my calling, my assignment. And NABO is my platform for carrying out this assignment, financial redemption.
Wow.
What they need is financial redemption.
I think the question then is, what is financial redemption?
And what is financial redemption? Financial redemption is when you grow your passive income to an extent that you get to do what you love to do every single day of the year.
Repeat that.
Financial redemption is when you have grown your passive income, money that comes into your bank account without you showing up, to an extent that you now get to do what you love to do every single day of the year. It is when you retire yourself from reporting to a job because you need to pay for bills, but you report because you love what you do. And that means now you align with your purpose. You align with your assignment. I like saying we are enablers of other people's assignments or other people's callings, you know. Why am I saying? And I'm going to go deep into this. Let's just look at how have we been educated? How have we been brought up? We were brought up, go to school, you get a good job. Remember, so many vijana, muongeze pia bidii, mwisho wa kusoma, utapata kazi nzuri sana. I mean, that is what was ingrained in us.
For my French audience.
For your French audience.
What are you saying?
I'm saying we were educated, and it was hammered into us through songs and other narratives that if we go to school, work very hard, get good grades, we'll get very good jobs and we'll have very good lives. So we were brought up to be employees.
We were indoctrinated to be employees.
And then when you get to become an employee, you join something called a pension scheme. And this pension scheme, you contribute into it, and then when you retire, and the retirement age has been somewhere between 60 and 65. When you retire, you will have a blissful life, because you will get to do what you love to do every single day of the year. Yeah? You will travel, you do whatever the things that you have not been able to do, you will do them. And by the way, if you follow people who retire, what do they end up doing?
Traveling.
I know.
Or going into a...
They become deacons in churches. Yeah?
Uh-huh.
They become deacons in churches. They become chairmen of their neighborhood associations. Eh? They become those things. And then they farm. They do some farming. That's what they do. But let me ask you, Esther, is this how God meant life to be?
No.
What is the average life expectancy in Africa? For a man, it's 62 years.
Okay.
For a woman, it's 64 years. So if you retire at 60, peradventure, you retire at 60.
Good years.
You have been one of the few lucky people to keep your job until you're 60 years old.
Mm.
Underline the word lucky. Because I don't know how many people get to, unless you're working for government, I don't know how many people really get to work until you're 60. You'll be the slowest person in the organization if you are that lucky. And you retire. It means if life expectancy is 62 for men and 64, what you expect to enjoy how many years? Two.
4 for the ladies.
4 for the ladies. And then if you get to 70, you are living in bonus. In fact, we used to have something called defined benefit. When you get your pension until you die. You know. So if the more you live, the more you're disappointing to the scheme, because you are an expense to the scheme now.
Mm.
You know. Anyway, I looked at this and said, this is not how God was meant us to live. How even if you live to be 80, are you expected out of 80 years you only enjoyed 20 years?
Mm. Mm.
It's a hoax. Say no. Our job at Nabu Capital and my purpose is to help you to retire you as quickly as possible so that you can enjoy the rest of your life and you can pursue your life assignment for most of your life, not the least part of your life.
Mm.
So if I can manage to get you there by the time you are 30 or 40, I have saved you. I have redeemed
half your life.
I've redeemed 20 years.
Mm.
I've redeemed 30 years. And that's why it's called financial
redemption.
Because we spend most of our lifetime and our prime season of our life trying to make this ends meet, trying to overcome this rat race. We spend most of our time there. That when you're getting a sigh of relief, life is over. God said, I give, but I come so that you may have life and have it abundantly. We are meant to thrive, not to survive.
Mm.
So, myself, Nabo, our job is to help you to get your passive income to a place where you can pay your bills, you can do all the things that you need to do without having your job or your business.
To give you your salary, in short. Or the foundation, as you said.
Yes.
The foundation.
Get those basics as quickly as possible.
Okay.
As quickly as possible. I've also thought about my own life. If I was to go back to the time I was in high school in campus, and I just finished, I would not leave home until I have a passive income of 100K. And when I leave my mother's house, I would now make sure that I do not spend more than 100K.
Mm.
So I will still be a very productive individual. Whatever job I do, all that will be bonus going into my portfolio to create more passive income. Mm. So by the time I'm 30, 40 years old, I don't think, if I start, I honestly believe I would be making at least 5 million a month.
What?
If I started doing this from day one,
yes,
I'd be making 5 million a month.
Okay, so
Passive income.
Passive.
Yes. Without salary.
Let me ask this. So think of that time you were in uni. What time? What age? I mean, sorry, what age? 20. Let's even say 20.
I left uni over 20 years ago.
So if somebody is 20 now,
yes,
and they start today,
that guy, by the time he's 40 and he's following these financial principles, is likely to be making millions of shillings in a month, passive income, because this thing is self-propelling. It keeps surprising you by how powerful it is, because it's very revelational. It's not something, even for me, it'd be like, oh my God, I did not know it could do this. You get it? So the bonuses that you get paid along the way, you sweep them there. You buy a piece of land, sell it at a good price, sweep it there. Yeah? All the excess cash flows that tends to,
an inheritance that
to
comes
disappear,
your way,
you sweep it there. All of it is you're converting it into assets which are generating passive income. Passive income, passive income, passive income, passive income. By the time you're 40, I'm telling you, you will not need to work for anyone, and you will not have to depend on any business. And that is not to say you stop working. And that's our idea. Our idea is that you actually work, but you work in the thing that fulfills you the most. And when that thing that fulfills you the most is also the thing that you have the most impact.
Yep.
Because that's where you're gifted. Warren Buffett started investing when he was 11 years old. He's asked, did he start investing too early? He said he wishes he started investing earlier. So it is not a coincidence that the guy has been one of the most consistent, top richest people in the world for as long as I can remember. All these other guys are names that have come up during the last 20 years. Warren Buffett has always been there.
I love what you've just said, because you then bring people like myself into play. And I'm talking about parents.
Yeah.
So, for example, I've got 2 daughters. And ever since our CTA, you forced me to realize, you pushed me into a position where I realized that my daughters, depending on my actions now, may never have to work for a salary. They never need to get to the position where they are working
to pay bills.
Yes. That their portfolio and can hand them over. And fine, I started with one when she was 3, the other a bit later when she was 5, but they already have a head start.
Yeah.
So, explain this to a parent. Like, what is this an offering that a parent can get into? And I'm not talking about paying school fees. That's different. I'm talking about handing over a portfolio that enables some ease when they get to a certain age.
Yeah, I mean, at home, there's one thing that we've been trying to enforce. To move our children to earn rather than to be given. So, for example, when with every birthday that my children get to, if like my son, Lemuel, he just turned 10. So, when you're 10 years, I'll give you 10,000 bob. When you're 11, I'll give you 11,000 bob. But instead of giving them a gift, now this 10,000 bob, I don't give him cash. I tell him, I'm putting it in your Chum's account. Now, when he put it in his Chum's account, he sees his portfolio has grown by how much? By 10,000 bob.
Yep.
Yeah? Now, he sees it growing. He starts seeing it growing. And then, as it is growing, he also has needs. He says, hey, Dad, I want to buy a toy or something. I tell him, no problem. How much money do you have in in your Chum's account. The moment I say his Chum's account, he say, no, I do not need the toy.
Delayed gratification is taught.
I realized that my children find it easier to spend my money, not their money. In fact, not to spend, to squander. If I tell them to spend their money, they make better allocation decisions. But if I go to a shop and I say, you have my wallet, they want to finish my wallet. So I'm teaching them a concept of earning. So then reward them with money. As you reward them with money, you're showing them, first of all, the value of money. What's the value of money? I say, hey, my brother has 10,000 more than me. He is making more passive income than me. So you've already switched his head on something. The other day, one of my sons was saying he wants a new tablet. I said, no problem.
Chums.
How much money do you have in your... Like, how much do you need? I need 30,000 bob or 40,000 bob. Okay, fine. What do you need to do to get 40,000 bob? Besides what you have in Chums. So now he starts applying himself. If I can do this, I can do that. Can I earn if I do this? Can I earn? You're teaching them a concept of earning. From earning, they are building. Remember, now it is active income. When they save that, immediately start producing passive income. Now they start tasting the sweetness of passive income, because that's what is growing the portfolio. And then now they start thinking about in terms of investing with purpose. Say, hey, the iPad or the tablet is very important to me. So this one is worthwhile for me to use my investment to do. So again, you're teaching them how to take one goal, accomplish it, another goal, accomplish it, another goal, accomplish it. That guy, by the time he's 18 years, in fact, my kids, I told them, you are allowed to be millionaires before you get to high school. There is no limitation. You should be, you have enough power and liberty to be a multi-millionaire. Just the ideas. So it's about more of mindset than even the resources.
I get it.
Than even the resources. So it is something that parents should introduce. And I really urge all the parents, please don't teach your children to receive or to beg. That everything they need, they are given. Teach them how to earn. It doesn't mean you don't love them. And there are things that you will give them, but don't give them everything.
True that.
Don't give them everything. Even, just providing services, running errands here and there. You can find a reward system. You're really teaching them how to transact in the world, how to negotiate, how to make best financial decisions. No, the thing that's breaking families is that adults don't even know how to make quality financial decisions. So they cannot prioritize, they cannot think through financial decisions. So marriages are just breaking because of that. But it starts from there.
But again, I'll ask the question: is it possible to open? For example, if we do agree, listen, I'm not the best at this financial management thing. Does Nabo Capital have options for under 18?
There are very many people who've opened accounts with their kids, but with their own KYC. I can open an account for my child, but with my KYC. When my child becomes of age, guess what? I'll just transfer the account to them. In fact, even these education plans is one of the things I've been saying. What do you do with a portfolio that has fully educated your child and your child has finished? On their wedding day, it can be one of the gifts that you can give them. You say, my son, this portfolio has educated you. And here now I pass it on. Now use it to educate your own children and create more portfolios. Now you're empowering. That now can go to multiple generations. They will do the same thing to their children and the children to the other children. That portfolio may have started with 2 million. It will be 1 billion some years to come.
Yep. And this is the concept that we're not taught. Every shilling counts. Consistency counts.
Yes.
Step by step grows the portfolio. Yes. Discipline, putting in and not taking out of the principle.
Yes.
Don't kill the cow that is giving you the milk.
No.
You get?
No.
Find it a meat and get another calf.
Yeah. But we need to come back to the person who is the rat race. Who is in a rat race.
Let's go back.
And I like giving an analogy of something that happened to me. About 3 years or 4 years ago, I was going to Eldoret. Eldoret is far. And I left very early in the morning and I had passengers in my car. And I got to near Gilgil. It was like I had left about 4 a.m. in the morning. It's dark. This is not one of my familiar roads. Near Gilgil, I'm like, let me overtake this truck. And I came to the right-hand side. And the moment I started overtaking, I discovered there were 2 trucks, not one. So I had a longer distance to cover. But as I was approaching, guess what? A barrier dividing the road, immediately I saw it. And guess what? I didn't have enough time to come back into my lane. So I ended up on the wrong side of the road, where now cars are coming this way and I'm going that way. And it is dark. And in front of me, there was this truck that was coming very fast and it just started flashing lights on me. I'm coming and I can't stop. And I had to make quick decision. I could see this barrier end somewhere. It was either I speed very fast and I hope that I will not have a head-on with the truck. I'll have enough time to come back in. Or I just risk to go to the shoulder of the road and maybe we can flip, the car can flip. In an instant, I knew I had to come to the shoulder of the road. It was too risky to try and beat the truck. And I came to the shoulder of the road and the car was just like slanting on the right-hand side, but I was able to stop the car and the truck passed, of course, really hooting at me. Must have thought I'm a very drunk human being at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Bro, I'm waiting for you to tell me you woke up from a dream.
I brought my car to the shoulder of the road and I gave myself a chance to recover. When the truck passed and the road was clear, I came back to the road and quickly got back to my rightful lane. Why am I giving this story? There are a lot of people who their expenses are ahead of their incomes. Lots of families. Those people are in a rat race. Either they're spending everything or their incomes are not even enough to take care of their bills. Those people, they have to make a decision very quick because their portfolio, their incomes are slower than their expenses. And they can't overtake. They can't overtake. So they need to come to the shoulder. You need to find a haven for a period of time to give yourself enough time to recover and your expenses to come behind your revenues. What do I mean? I was the captain of that car. If I didn't do that,
You'd not be seated here.
I would not be seated here, and two other people would have lost enough children would have lost their parents that day. As the captain of your family, you must be ready to make tough decisions. You need to change your lifestyle. But you're not saying change your lifestyle forever. If you're living in a place where you're paying rent 25 or 30,000 bob, you need to find a place, maybe another neighborhood, where you'll save 5,000 bob or 10,000 bob. Yeah? But you know it's for a short period of
Time.
A period of time. One of the things that I did when I looked at my expenses, I was shocked how much money I was spending on buying food. I was enriching the restaurants around me. I was working for people,
You were
restaurant
helping
owners.
their portfolios.
I was helping their portfolios, but I didn't have anything on my end of paying ourselves as a family. So I just made a radical decision. The food that was left in the evening, if it was good, the food that I enjoyed, please pack it for me or cook some new food in the morning, put it in my bag, I go. I rarely leave my office to go and look for food. And that saves a lot of money. But you'll find somebody who is struggling, but never misses lunch, going to restaurants to look like other people, you know. So make those kind of decisions. Education. You don't have to take your kids to an academy if you can't afford it. They can go into public school for a short period of time, and then when you recover and you have enough buffer, take them back to an academy. You know, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break so that your expenses, they slow down and your revenues or incomes, they catch up and exceed. Then you can be able to pace yourself. You should never your expenses should never be more than 80% of your family income. They should never be. They should never be. So if anybody is in a rat race and they are saying, I have nothing to save, they need to remember my story. You are headed for a head-on collision. And if you don't do something today about it, it is certainly going to happen. And it will have many casualties. And there might never be a recovery. Even a marriage might be lost. So make the decisions now. Difficult decisions. If you are a man, you have to be bold. Your wife will respect you for taking difficult decisions. And say, I did not like the decision you made, but it was the right decision for our family. Yeah? And when you recover, you will be the hero in that family. But if you stay there and hide your head under the sand,
Ostrich mode,
then your family is headed for a crash, and it is certainly going to happen. But the good thing is, you're in control of it, and you can change the course of your family.
Let's talk about this thing that you coined. I'm not sure if it's you coined it, but I heard it from you, and I adopted it from you, and I believe it from you.
Yes.
It's called, and it's part of this whole getting yourself out of the rat race.
Yes.
Pay yourself first.
Yep.
Explain it to somebody who's hearing it for the first time, and as a way to help somebody. Then, now that you've put on the side of the road, your paycheck has just come. Pay yourself first.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Pay yourself first means that first of all, you need to appreciate who you are. Who generates that income? It is you. For believers like me, we say tithe first. But under the sun, pay yourself first. Under the sun. And maybe it's good to give a story here. Just when I was newly married, I remember this gentleman who came to give us financial classes. And I was like, hey, seriously, I am a CFA charter holder. You are very bold to even imagine you can give me a financial financial coaching.
Yes.
But, you know, these things I work with, you know, you need to be humble. So listen to him and give us an assignment just to to put together a family balance sheet, all those things. But the real thing that really came out was what is the biggest risk we face as a family? And the biggest risk is that we were depending on salary. And if this salary went, then we were going to be in a lot of trouble because there is no other source of income. I could not imagine going back to my father's house, you know. So we made a radical decision. Said, what do we need to do? Say, if we have two incomes in the family, then we must assume we don't have one income. Assume you have lost one income. And assume you've lost the biggest
income.
The biggest income. How would your life look like? So my family was structured around one income, not two. All bills were paid from one income. And the smallest income.
And you're talking about everything.
Everything.
You are. So whose income went in this situation?
Yeah.
Whose income?
You know, for me in a family, it is.
Yes.
You don't distinguish.
Of course.
Yeah. So the smallest income that was coming in the family is the one that
became the income.
Became the family income.
My question.
We assumed we had lost the other one.
So where did that other income go? In its 100%, it went into...
It became now our pay yourself first.
It became the seed
to our portfolio.
To the portfolio.
To the portfolio.
So let me give an example. Let's say you were making 100,000.
Yes.
And your wife was making 80,000.
Yes.
Your 100,000 leaves a picture. It becomes what is being sent into the portfolio every month.
Every month.
And your family, rent, school fees, kila kitu.
You have assumed you've already lost one income.
So that's when you started building your portfolio?
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
And has that been the same throughout?
And
was that?
Of course, there are things that changed along the way, but that is what really began. That is what gave us a breakthrough.
Wow. That was radical.
Very radical. In fact, it really taught us how to be humble. It really taught us how to, you know, you don't have, there is no one to impress. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to drive the best cars. You don't have to. Just make sure that you have a solid plan for your family. So that was a radical decision. That was a moment to stop, to pause on the road, on the shoulder of the road, and think about your life.
Wow.
And say, my life must change from here. And it truly changed. Until today. Until today.
So that is the concept of paying yourself first.
Paying myself first. And even today, it's still the same concept. Between Joyce and I.
Your wife and yes.
My wife Joyce and I, we live on one income and we assume the other one does not exist.
First and foremost, I know this is a bit of a side note.
Yes.
The last time you sat on CTA, you didn't have a wife.
I didn't have a wife. But God is God.
God is God.
God is God.
This just brought some tears to my eyes.
But that principle continues. It continues.
Wow.
We live on one income even today. And everything else, we pay ourselves first. So the same thing, the same decision we made many years ago, we continued doing it with my wife Joyce. Yeah, 2 people who contribute, but we live on one income. Why? Because we are still on the journey.
You're still on the journey.
I'm not seated here as a person who has arrived. I'm seated here giving of my own journey too, that I'm still on. Remember, I have 5 children. We have 5 children.
Yes.
Yeah, we have lots of school fees to pay.
Some at the beginning of the stage.
Our family is an institution. Yeah? At some point,
a basketball team with subs.
Yeah, at some point, my house, yeah, an average people in that house is 14. You know, so even food is a production. Food is a production. Every day is a bash. When we sit around the table, it's a bash. We are many.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you sit for Bible study, it's a church service. You know. So anyway, the thing is this: to whom much is given, much is
expected.
Much is required. So I am on this journey. We as a family, we are also on this journey. So we have to make sacrifices. Yeah. And by the way, the wisdom also is continuing to increase. Yeah, because you're saying, hey, the economy is not the same as it was 10 years ago. Kenya shilling is falling. So what do we need to think around our portfolio? You know? So we are also thinking, hey, we need to dollarize also part of our portfolio. We need to do things. We need to create dollar passive income.
Talking about dollar passive income, I've got a question here.
Yes.
This one I'm passionate about, because I have heard you talk about the money market fund that you have, and even when you showed it to me, you showed me the dollar option, and I was and at that time I didn't really understand, and in the last year, what the dollar has done, as somebody who earns some revenue in dollars. Or in foreign currency, euros, let me add, I've seen month on month increase. It's like my salary is being added just because of the change in
exchange rate.
In exchange rate. And it's made me say, what do you call this thing? Earning in a different currency it's critical. It's critical. So I want us to enter a bit of a more technical conversation. We're going deeper and deeper and deeper. We started with people. And this is the first thing. Let's talk about compounding interest. In fact, let me ask the question, and then we're going to enter money market, and then we're going to enter into foreign exchange. So my first question is, can you explain how compound interest works and its impact on long-term financial growth? Let's start there, then I'll ask the next ones.
The best way to explain compounding interest, because already if just saying compounding interest, it sounds like I've entered into financial jargon.
Exactly.
So let me explain it in layman language or with an example. I like asking people when I meet them, if I gave you 2 options. 1, I give you 1 million shillings and you walk away. Or I give you 0.01 shillings or 1 cent that doubles every day for 31 days. Which one will you take? Let me repeat. I give you 1 million shillings, you walk away. You remember money on the box?
Yeah.
Here is 1 million, Bob. Have it, run. It is yours. Or I give you 1 cent or 0.01 shilling.
Yes.
That doubles every day. And it stops doubling on the 31st day.
Okay.
Which one will you walk away with? And majority of the people always say, 1 million, Bob. I mean, there is no way a cent, ndururu in Swahili, can get to 1 million shillings. And that's really the underlying question. How much will the ndururu or the 0.01 shilling or the 1 cent, how much will it be on the 31st day? The shocking thing is that it is actually going to be, if I remember correctly, 21.47 million shillings.
21?
21.47 million shillings.
Okay, I thought you were going to tell me like 4.
No.
21.
21.4 million shillings.
From 1 cent, 2 cent, 4 cent,
Yes.
8.
On the 31st day, it will be 21.47 million shillings.
That is beautiful.
Now, that, why you're shocked, is because you have just experienced the power of compounding.
Yes.
Because the interest is producing more interest, and the fruit is producing fruit, and another fruit is, those fruits are producing more fruits.
Mm-hmm.
So it completely is uncomparable to 1 million shilling after some point. Now, this is also the other thing. If you do it day by day and you see up to the 31st day, you'll notice, and you even do a graph, you'll notice the graph starts very slowly. Then at some point, just goes like this.
Yeah.
We call it hockey stick. It grows exponentially. Because if today is the day 31st, yesterday it means it was what? It was how much?
Half.
From 21. Half of 21.47, it was 10 point something.
Yeah.
And the day before?
5 points.
Can you see
That
how
change.
every day
Yeah.
makes such a big difference? The power of compounding. Now, the compounding, the thing with investment, when you're experiencing this compounding, it feels like you're doing nothing initially. And then the power really kicks in when the fruits start producing more fruits. As the years go by, it becomes insane. Centum, 2008, when James Moore was appointed CEO, had a balance sheet of 6 billion shillings. After having been in existence for 40 years.
Wow.
We did a strategy, did research, put together numbers, and was so convinced that in 5 years, by 2014, the company was going to be at 30 billion without raising additional capital. From 6 to 30 in 5 years, having become 6 billion over 40 years. And we did crazy compounding. We were investing. I remember there is one place we invested, there is one investment I made in Tanzania. 800 million came back with 3.3 billion. Another one in Rwanda, put 40 million, came back with 256 million. Another one in Ghana, put 300 million, came back with 900 million. It was just, so I was moving money here, you've multiplied, move it somewhere else, it multiplies, moving there, it multiplies, compounding. Guess what? By 31st of March, 2014, we were at 29 billion. We missed the target by $1 billion. Power of compounding. Now, this is not just an institutional story. This is what we see every day in our client portfolios. We see, even then they're shocked. Oh my God, I did not believe that I could be. There's one of my friends. He was working outside the country. He called me, said, Pius, how much money do I need to open an account with you? I said, $1 million. He said, I don't have $1 million. I asked him, how much do you have? He said, I have 20,000 bob. I told him, I'm going to make an exception. I'm going to open an account in Abo for you with 20,000 bob, as long as you promise me one thing. You put money in that account every month. It is your money, not my money. Put that money in. Commit to put some money in that account every month. And the guy started putting money, and money grew. He started putting 100,000. It was just crazy. The last time I met him, the account was over 7 million shillings. This is a guy who said he has only 20,000. He doesn't have $1 million. And now it has affected his entire life.
Completely.
This is after paying out other things. Yeah? So if we didn't pay out, it would be over 10 million. Yeah? And the stories continue. The power of compounding. The power of compounding. So compounding is when you invest and your principal produces income, and that income is reinvested and it produces income, and that new income and the old income are reinvested, and they keep producing first,
So you
fourth,
put
second,
in-
third, fifth generation of returns.
Give an example of you put in 100,000. So what after a month, let's say it gives you an interest of whatever it is, even if it's just 1,000 shillings. Now you have 101,000 shillings for the next month. That's reinvested. Okay. So this time it's not giving you back a 1,000 shillings, it's giving you 1,050 bob. That's reinvested. I get it.
So the profits keeps producing, and new profits keep. So you have multiple generations of profits because they're producing for each other. Every shilling produces a child.
Okay.
So that's the compounding explained. It's actually called the eighth wonder of the world. Yeah.
With that same question, then I can ask now the next question. The big fight between putting money in a bank account and money market fund. What is an MMF, money market fund?
That's a good question, but allow me to really explain this a little bit with a bit more broadness.
No problem.
Because what I see when people come to us, they don't understand how the financial system works. They can't distinguish a bank, insurance company, SACCO, and an investment company like ourselves. Why does a bank exist? A bank exists for one and one reason only: to help us to exchange transactions. You cannot transact any business without a bank account. I can't pay school fees without a bank account, unless you're doing money shenanigans, which is very difficult to do nowadays, So the basic existence of a bank is transaction. So the money that should sit in your bank account should be transactional money only. The money that you need to pay others. Let's go to an insurance company. Why does an insurance company exist? An insurance company exists to mitigate risk. When a risk takes place, the insurance steps in to indemnify you or restore you to where you were before the risk crystallized. Not to make you rich, to restore you to where you were before. So, how does the insurance company make money? It makes money when they insure you and your risk does not crystallize.
Yes.
How does a bank make money? A bank makes money when you give them when you have your money there, which is earning less than what they are using it for. They earn the spread. Okay? They invest in a bond, they make 14%, you get 6%. The rest goes to them. That's why you can never go and ask a bank, what did you do with my money? You'll be chased away.
Yep.
Yeah. The third one is a SACCO. SACCOs are the creation of the inefficiencies of a financial system or the banking system, because the banks previously, especially in Africa, were out to serve multinationals and corporations. So individuals like ourselves never felt welcomed in a bank, in banking halls, unless you are a great man, So it is the equity banks and especially Equity Bank that have changed the narrative of banking. Yeah, and other countries are also going through the same thing. So if you needed money to do anything, to borrow, it was very difficult to borrow from the banks. Banks were just giving money to government and very secure institutions.
And
So,
high net worth individuals.
very high net worth individuals. So SACCOs were formed so that they can become a place where you can have communal lending. We can de-risk each other. I know Richard. So when Richard is borrowing, I go and guarantee him. If Richard doesn't pay, I will pay. Or 3 of us, we guarantee you. If Richard doesn't pay, we will pay. So we de-risk you. And therefore, you borrow from our money also. You know. So it's like a merry-go-round, kind of. That is happening there. So if you're in a SACCO and you're not borrowing, then you are not benefiting from it. SACCOs are not meant to be investment vehicles. Even the regulations are not for investing. I know I am messing with very many people when I say this. The regulations for SACCOs are not out to protect investors. They're to protect members who have this thinking, you know. Then come to investment companies, like the ones, especially the ones which are regulated by Capital Markets Authority. Yeah. Then this is where, if you want to invest money, that's where you put money, because the regulations are specifically to protect investors. Specifically to protect investors. Now, let's come back to your question. Money market
and bank account.
Bank account.
I get you. I even feel like I can answer it. Teacher me.
So, a bank account is a place where you put money for transacting.
Yes.
A money market is a place where you park money
for investment, to grow it.
You park money for investing as you come up with a long-term plan on how to invest it. So the key word is parking. You park the money for a short period of time to earn more money. Because as you park, it is still playing around with that word compound. Yes. It is doing things. Yes, it is doing things. Because a bank account, most on average, will earn you less than a money market account. You see, a bank account there's a current account. A current account earns you nothing. A call, the lowest form of earning you can get in a bank is a call account. And now, if you put money in on a call, it means you earn very little, because the bank doesn't know when you will come for their money. So you can earn 2%. In money market, and then you also have to negotiate for it. A money market, you don't need to negotiate anything. As long as you put money in a money market account, you automatically earn the return that is in that portfolio. Now, another distinctive factor is, when you put money in a bank, that money ceases to be yours, it becomes the bank's money. And that is why, when you look at the balance sheet of a bank account, of a bank, you will see your deposits in that balance sheet. When you put money in an investment account, or in an investment through an investment firm like NABO, you will never see that money in the balance sheet of NABO. Because that money is identified as the customer's money, as your money, and is separated from NABO's money. Therefore, if you look at the balance sheet of an investment company and the balance sheet of a bank, the balance sheet of a bank is normally very big. But the balance sheet of the largest investment company is very small, because it does not include customer balances. That takes us to another point. If a bank goes under, we say it is taken over by a receiver manager, because it is it is going concern now is in question, the receiver manager is like the undertaker, you know, the funeral undertaker, like the undertaker of companies. When they step in, they do not distinguish which one was customer deposit and which one was the shareholders' money. All of it is considered to be the bank's property. So anyone who was a depositor, like for example with Chase Bank, we literally had lost the money. When a bank goes under, it goes under with your money. On this other side, when an investment company that is regulated by CMA goes under, it should not go under with your money, because your money is separated from the investment company. And it is because your money is held in a custody account. The regulator will only appoint another fund manager and you will continue.
Okay.
That's another big distinction. So the money in a bank, when you put money in a bank, it doesn't go into a custody. When you put money in a NABO, it goes to a custody, separate from NABO. Meaning, when there is a problem, we can separate money that is in the custody and the money that was for NABO.
Okay.
So if tomorrow...
To play devil's advocate,
yes,
has that always happened, or are there cases where investors' money has been lost by the investment company?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because remember, what does the bank do with your money? They invest, isn't it? What does the investment company do with the money? They invest. The only difference that the bank tells you, you will earn 2%. Whether they make that money or lose that money, they must pay you what?
2%.
2%. And that's why they use the word guarantee. Even though in its truest form, in investment we say there is nothing called like guarantee.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows about the future. The investment company, because they also invest, they can also make losses. But when they make losses, now the losses are attributable to the...
The ups and downs are with you.
The ups and downs are with the client. The ups and downs in a bank environment are not with the client, because they give you the smallest, the lowest return possible to cover their risk.
Yep.
You get it? But on this other side, you get the highest upside. Even if you make 100%, you still get 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, the only way you can lose money in an investment environment is through loss of investment, which happens on either side. Yeah.
I think another thing to mention is withdrawal times. Speed of withdrawal.
Speed of withdrawal. So the other thing is a bank account, like a call. You see, also a bank has to sell products. A bank account, either in a call or a fixed deposit, or in a
current account savings.
In a current account. In current account, you earn nothing. You can withdraw that money anytime. If the money is on call, you can also call it, but you also earn the lowest return. If the money is in a fixed deposit for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, if you break the call, you lose the interest. So there is a penalty. Very serious penalty. So there is a cost. So speed of accessing your money is very fast in the bank for a call and for a current account. For fixed deposit, you can also get it, but remember, you lose your interest. In a money market situation, you can call your money anytime and you will not lose your interest. You will earn the interest for as long as you have held that money in that money market account. But you will not get it instantly. Most of the fund managers will give you money within 48 hours. And this is very important, because we do not want a money market account to be the same as a bank account. A bank account, when you are out there on a Friday having a good time and you run out of money, you can withdraw from the bank account and continue having fun with your. But remember, the money is transactional. Money market account is about your future. You do not. You've already said, I don't want to spend this money. I'm separating. I'm removing it from the bank. So we do not also want you to access the money so easily that when you recover from a hangover the following day, you start saying, oh man, why did I invade my savings, my investments? So most of the people are very happy when they wake up the following day and say, you know what, I'm so happy that I could not access my money market. Yeah.
But or even I found other ways to deal with this emergency.
They always find new ways. So most of our customers will come and tell us, hey, this investment that I have with you is the last tree that I shake when I need money. And that is the place of investment. Investment is about delayed gratification. And we cannot, if we change that, we become a bank.
I like it.
Yeah, but it is safe to say this. I won't say this very controversial statement, but it is true.
Say it.
A money market account is safer than a bank account for several reasons. When a bank goes under, it goes under with your money. No doubt about it. And it is not some money, all the money. In Kenya, the Deposit Protection Fund only says it will refund customers up to $1 million.
Yes, less than $1 million.
Up to $1 million. So if you had $1 billion, what is $1 million compared to $1 billion? That's what was facing us during Chase Bank. And this statement, by the way, I started saying it from the day we experienced Chase Bank. Because it was, oh my God, this is the truth. You know, this is the reality. So when a bank goes down, it goes down with all your money. And you can only recover a very limited amount of money to use the deposit insurance route. On this other side, number one, if an investment, a fund manager goes under, that there is separation of money. So ideally, you should not have any loss of money. Absolutely, you should have no loss of money. The only way you can lose money in a money market account is when a bank goes under and that money market fund was exposed to that bank.
Okay.
But the regulations limit us how much money we can put in one asset or one investment. We are allowed to invest up to 25% in one institution or one issuer. So if at all that money market fund had invested in Chase Bank to the extent of 25%, then you lose 25%.
Not the 75.
Not the 75 will still be there. So again, another level of safeguarding. Yeah. So number one is your money sits in a custody account. Number two, there are investment guidelines by the regulator to make sure that we are constantly diversified. So you cannot lose all your money. Number three, there are other players who are out there to watch out for the investors. Now, first one is a trustee. Like now, Nabo Money Market Fund, our trustee is KCB trustee. So the work of the trustee is to oversee that we are complying with the promise we made to the customer and to the regulator. And they check us on a quarterly basis, and we report to them on a quarterly basis. And if they don't do their job, they can be put in front of a court, and they'll be accused very aggressively.
Wow.
So they take their job very seriously. So they are out there to make sure that your money is safe.
Okay, this is powerful. I didn't know about the trustees.
There is a trustee. And then there is also There's also the CMA. CMA also has to come and do regular audits to make sure that your money is safe. Yeah? So they are governing all this. So we have at least 4 levels of defense in a money market. So for a money market fund to completely blow up, it is something. And think about it. When have you ever had in this market a money market fund has blown up?
That's going to be my next question to you. Has there been a time when that's happened?
The only one that recently I remember had a problem was Amana Capital. Amana Capital. And it is because they invested 25% in Nakumat.
Aha.
But you see now they're again 25%.
Okay.
You see? So, but it is not a total collapse the way you wake up and like, oh my God, the bank is gone under. You cannot even, there is no ATM that can work. There's no app that can work, nothing like that.
Money market fund does not also have an ATM, just for that.
And money market does not have an ATM. Very strategic.
Yes.
Very strategic. So, and this is not a Kenyan issue. This is a global issue. Even during the financial crisis, we did not see money market funds collapsing, except I think there was one, but it was not it didn't blow up like the banks. Banks were collapsing. So for a money market fund to collapse, completely collapse, the entire financial system has collapsed.
Wow.
Entire financial system has collapsed.
Okay.
So again, I say, a money market fund is safer than a bank account. Without controversy. Without controversy. And yet it earns higher than a bank account.
True that.
So from a risk-adjusted return, a money market fund makes a lot of sense. I actually don't understand. Let me say, I understand. The reason why people don't have a money market account is because they don't know.
But now they know.
And that's what we are out there to make sure everybody knows. Everybody should have a money market account. If you have a bank account, you must have a money market account.
And if somebody
and
wants...
that is where you pay yourself first.
That is where you pay yourself first.
Yes. So for me and my family, every time we
some inflows
come in, we pay ourselves first, sweep it to Nabu Money Market Fund. And I love it because I don't have to call like in a bank and say, can you give me 6%? Can you give me 5%? No. I just sweep it. The moment it arrives, it starts earning.
Okay, Pius, can you explain the risks and potential rewards associated with investing in forex currency, especially in comparison to domestic currency investments? I hope you've understood that, but to even layman this thing more is, I'm somebody who's interested in beginning for the first time to invest in a different currency. Why should I do it? What is it? What does that mean to do that? And what are the potential rewards and risks of doing that?
Can NABO invest on behalf of someone in dollars or any other hard currency? And what are the risks and rewards?
Yes. And what does that mean?
So one of the things we observed last year, September, is it's just the flow of money. And we just started saying, hey, the way interest rates are behaving and the way the Kenya currency is behaving, we don't see very good signs. So I remember September last year, we started advising some of our customers, especially institutional customers who have very big money, ticket size portfolios. We started advising them to invest in Eurobonds. The Eurobonds are in dollars. Yeah? And last year, the Kenyan Eurobonds were trading somewhere between 14 and 19%. So the Kenya government, Kenya shilling bonds were trading at 14%. They're like, why invest and be exposed to the same government, 14% in shilling, when you can be exposed to the same government in dollars? And actually, one of our customers really ran with it. And we presented to quite a number of them, but one really ran with this. And we invested over $30 million on their behalf in Eurobonds, just over a very short period of time. When by January, February, things also were a bit jittery there. We also started selling now the same bonds because we were concerned about Kenya. Now people are questioning government's ability to pay and all that stuff. So we started selling. And no, we sold, and the return for that particular customer was 33%.
33%?
33%. Because we made money, first of all, on interest, and then we made money on a depreciating currency.
Wow.
So the question whether we can invest in dollars, yes. We converted shillings into dollars, invested in Eurobonds, which is a very sophisticated also process, made money and sold, repatriated money here, 33% return.
The price with which you bought the dollars,
yes,
when you converted your Kenya shillings to dollars, when you were converting dollars to Kenya shillings, it had increased.
It had increased.
So you made money there.
We made money on, we made forex gains.
Yes.
And we made interest income at the same time.
Wow.
So we made money. Because also we are in, our job is to make sure that whatever portfolios that our customers have with us, they will last another 100 years. So we are not thinking about 2024.
Okay.
We're not thinking about 2025. We are thinking, how can this portfolio be set to succeed and thrive through seasons?
Oh, beautiful.
Through different seasons and economic cycles. So we are in one economic cycle. So one of the things that we are trained to do is to mitigate risk and is to dance with the environment, adopt the environment. Now, we are in what many people would call some form of crisis. It is not blown up, but we are in some form of crisis. There are a lot of big questions being asked. Ever since I started investing, I have never had, there has never been another time where the ability of Kenyan government to repay debt has been questioned. This is the first time we are really going through this. Yeah. Yesterday I was dining with some Ghanaian friends, and they were telling us all the experience. So like, we need to tell this story here, because we are not saying that that's what's going to happen, but we need to prepare our portfolios. If that should happen, we should be okay. We should be okay, you know. So
you're constantly thinking of the worst.
We are constantly thinking of what can go wrong. So one of the things that we have consistently told our customers from last year is that if you are 100% exposed to Kenya shilling, it is good to just have at least some dollar assets, 5 to 10% dollar assets. That, I'm not saying that is the ultimate, but some customers will go very aggressive, you know. Others, especially if you have dollar liabilities, you know. If you have dollar liabilities, people, I was speaking to a customer yesterday, and they were telling me, you know, we are paying school fees in dollars, and this shilling is
cheering.
You know, so if you have dollar liabilities, even higher. If you don't have any dollar payments that you need to make, you need to have at least 5 to 10% of your assets in your portfolio in dollars. We are just mitigating. We're just mitigating the risk, you know.
Okay.
Now, if you go into dollars, how will you earn money? Remember, there are not very many dollar assets. So we are, in fact, we were the first fund manager, I believe, in the country to have a dollar money market fund.
Wow.
And this came because of our background in investing in the continent. We, from the time NABO was formed, we never saw ourselves as a Kenyan fund manager. We saw ourselves as a Pan-African fund manager with overlooking or overseeing over 900 securities that we can invest in Africa. Not the 62 or the 130 government securities that we have, no. So that gave us that edge to, first of all, to be the first to come out with a dollar money market fund. There are others. We also have a dollar fixed income fund. And also we have new fund managers who have come up with their dollar products recently. But the first place, remember, a money market fund is what? Our purpose is to park money.
Park that money.
Park money to earn some decent income while you decide on the long-term investment and purpose for those funds. That is the purpose of our money market fund. So the first thing we're telling our customers, just sweep your money in a dollar money market fund. You will at least earn a return better than putting it in the bank, as we look for bigger and better opportunities in the dollar market, and they will come. And they will come. And I don't know how life will be. I don't know where Kenyan shilling will be, but this is not a 2024 play. This is not a 2030 play. This is about another 100 years. How will we be able to survive in all those economic cycles? If things don't pan out very well for the dollar, maybe people are moving to digital currencies, we'll also flex around that environment. There's something that we as investors, we really look forward to, and people don't like it. It's called crisis. Most of the money we make is during crisis times. So financial crisis produced billionaires. Every crisis produces billionaires. It's a time where money shifts in tectonic
plates,
moves, you know. So we are in a place where things are really shifting. So these are some of the things that we can fine-tune in your portfolio and reposition you for a future that is uncertain, to take advantage of opportunities. I saw today, is it today or yesterday, they were saying UK, people are now coming from UK a lot to tour in Kenya because of the shilling falling. It's an opportunity for them. So what if we build a portfolio? In fact, my mindset is changing. Even in my own portfolio as a family, we're changing. We now should not be thinking about becoming Kenya shilling billionaires. We should be thinking of becoming dollar billionaires.
Yes.
You know, what are the things you need to put in place for that to happen? You know, so those are the things that now we start shifting. But it starts with this small conversation that we are having here. Can an investor get exposure to dollar assets? Yes. Money market USD is the starting point. From there, we'll guide you, we'll navigate you. There are Euro bonds, there are things. We can invest in America, we can invest anywhere in the world. As long as that will reach you to your goal.
As we said in the beginning.
Remember, investing with purpose. That is the idea. Our greatest satisfaction comes from helping you to achieve a tangible goal. That is where we uncork the champagne and we celebrate with you. You have educated your child, they have gone to a UK university, you have paid school fees in GP pounds, you're good. That is our celebration.
You know, anybody listening to this, they need to pay so much for this course. It's amazing content. This content has been so good. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful to you because you have really broken this thing down and excited me about investment. Honestly speaking, in my whole life, I don't think I've ever been this excited about investment. And understanding that wealth is literally around the corner, as long as you keep walking. I want to figure out...
So become a dollar millionaire.
Yeah, well, we don't think Africa, we think global.
Yes.
I mean, we don't think just the continent, the country, we think the continent and more. So I want to ask this question. Okay, I'm excited. I want to start. I want to get some of this dollar money market. I want to begin a portfolio because I'm in the UK and I want to come for that holiday because my pounds are doing jumps. I'm an institution and I'm thinking, you know what, we've got some money that's just sitting in our parking in our bank account. Maybe this money needs to be parking in and begin a portfolio that can enable us to pay some of our monthly recurring bills. People in different, I've just received an inheritance or a payout because a loved one has gone. I've just sold a piece of land. There's all these different people who are in different situations, some difficult, some a blessing, but they've had you, but they are not educated enough to do this journey on their own. They therefore want to come to Nabo Capital to first and find out, do you exist? Do you have a building? Walk us through the process. Somebody who's listening to this, interested in kicking off tomorrow. Please note, these people are across the world, not just in Kenya. So walk us through, how does it happen? Maybe you're even just a 18-year-old who's earning 1,000 shillings a month, and I want to put my 100 shillings somewhere. Is this possible? Talk to us.
First of all, we have always been mistaken that Nabo Capital is for the rich. Nabo Capital is not for the rich. Nabo Capital is for everybody.
It's because of how the CEO looks, bro.
But it also reminds me that we are such an aspirational brand. We inspire people, but we are for everyone. If someone does not think they have much to invest, I'd say the fastest and the best thing that they can do today, right now, when they hear me, is to download Chum's app. And I think we should put a link or something. But it is on Apple Store. It is on Play Store. Just write Chums, CHUMZ.
You mean it's the thing on the screen right now that you can see?
Yes.
And if you want to download it, it is in the description.
Yes.
It is also pinned in the comments.
Yep. Yes. Download Chums. It is a very simple thing to download and to register. But before this conversation is over, you'll already be a customer. So that, first of all, we demystify that Nabo is for everybody. Then
out of
and you can invest as little as 5 shillings.
Okay.
I think we are the only ones today who can take as little as 5 shillings. And you can be able to see your investment anytime, any day, instantly. So that should take care of a lot of people that have always been asking, Pius, how do I become a client? Then there are those customers, and by the way, this applies to anybody. If you are anyone who is anywhere, diaspora, anywhere in the world, they can download Chums.
Oh, nice. Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
Okay.
They can do that. Now, if you are an individual and you want to sit down and talk about your financial goals and a plan, you need a plan. You have big things that you need to achieve. You need to buy a house. You need to take your kid to school, maybe to a foreign university. You need to. There are big things. There are 2-3 things that really concern you. I'd say you need to get in touch with us, and you need to ask for a financial advisor. We have several financial advisors, and again, we are going to put where there's definitely some contact.
It's the screen, bro.
Yes.
On the screen right now as you talk, they're there.
On the screen, you will get contact details about that.
The phone number is there.
Yeah.
And the email is there.
And the email is
That's
there.
for, so it doesn't matter whether you're abroad or not, call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the financial advisor does several things. Number one, they will understand exactly what you want to achieve. They are your champions. They are on your side, not on Nabo's side. They understand first and foremost, what do you want to achieve? What are your financial circumstances? And they will help you to put all these plans into what you call an investment plan. Now, an investment plan is a roadmap. How do I get that car? How do I get that house? How do I get my kid to this school? How do I go on this cruise that I have been wanting to do? How do I start this business with this kind of money that is required? It helps you to bridge that gap step by step, month by month. Then you can say, if I do 1, 2, 3, 4 things in the next 5 years, on this particular month, on this particular day, this is where I'll be. I'll be able to do this thing.
Nice.
So you need an investment plan. And there we'll also take you through a very personalized onboarding process. Now, one of the things when we ask our customers what they like most about NABO, without fail, they all say personalized servicing. Yeah. It takes a lot from us, but it is the one thing that we are always unwilling to let go, because we are about experience. We are about how you enjoy your journey while you're our customer. Now, if you are an institution or represent an institution and you want to introduce that investment income line into the business, you want to insulate your business from the turbulence of economic cycles and many kind of crises that will be coming either because of your business, things going on in your business or things going on in your industry, then we also should be able to sit down with them, and we have a team led by a lady called Mercy Njoroge. We get into contact with Mercy Njoroge, we'll put her contacts here, or the contacts are already there.
They're already there.
They're already there. And we'll be able to have a very personalized conversation on what are the specific goals that you want to achieve. And then we'll have, again, another, we'll come and present to you, to your management team, to your board, if we need to, a whole plan on how you can be able to move from point A to point B. Now, the beauty is, especially where we deal with institutions, we also come and present to the board. Our job is to make management to shine. Our job is to make management to shine.
Nice.
So we do all the work. We will even come to your strategy sessions to help you to open your eyes to bigger opportunities and have other insights that we may have that you do not have.
Wow. Okay.
So for us, we really want to get very involved even in your products, because we see your production connected to your portfolio. How do we link these two? How can your portfolio support your business? And how can your business support the portfolio, so that we establish that linkage and that flow of money and help the institution to grow from strength to strength. So it's a very, very simple process. I personally get involved as much as I can. Also my contacts. This is the other thing. We are not a multinational company. We are not a big thing. So accessing the CEO is just call. I'm here. I'm here and happy to help. I'm invited a lot by our customers during their strategy sessions to go and share insights and help them to be able to achieve wherever they were going. Yeah, they're going. Yeah.
You're also a keynote speaker. So one of the things that you're not talking about as well is that as much as we are blessed and grateful to have you here, you're very passionate about financial redemption, and therefore do a lot of speaking engagements across the country and the continent to different people. Because I know there are people who are watching this and want a personalized training session or have you come and speak at their conferences. So I'm also letting you know that that's possible. Just definitely get in touch with NABO Capital and they'll connect you to Pius.
Yeah, I call myself an evangelist of investment. This is my field. This is my calling. So my excitement is to see everyone prosper, individuals and organizations. So I am always happy to come and share my insights through speaking engagements or any other kind of arrangement. So that's an extra when you're our customer.
I'm going to go back to Chums, because Chums is a phenomenon that is taking over this country.
Yes.
Young people, chama, SACCOs, different people are all joining that platform as a way for financial ease, quick access to park their money in a place that gives them slight returns. So tell me a little bit about Chums, just because I feel like you went over it, and it's a bit of a radical thing that you're doing. Even just for maybe maybe what you can share. Of course, I don't want you to share what you can't.
So Chums is a partnership between NABO and some partners we call the Moneto. And it was birthed out of an observation that we are in an environment where people are hooked to lending or borrowing. There are so many lending apps. You can name them, and charging very exorbitant money. So when you start thinking about the future of these young people, how can you quantify it if they are beginning from negative? There's somewhere I was speaking, and when I was done, one of the young ladies came and cornered me, and she said, "I'm in so much debt. What should I do?" And I asked her, "What do you do?" She said, "I'm in university." I said, "How can you be in university and you're in so much debt?" Her parents didn't even know. She asked me, "Should I be worried to be in the CRB?" I'm like, "What?" Absolutely should be worried to be in the CRB. But so there is a culture here that we are building because of the products that are being offered that is extremely worrying. So we're inspired to come up with a product that can counter that, an investment product, one that encourages the youth to save and then to invest. So, but the challenge is, how do you reach all these people? And therefore, Chums was put together as an app, and we've been able to reach so many people. I think as at last week, we have about 120,000 registered users, having just literally last year was our full operational year. 120,000. The first 2 weeks of this year, we've had additional 20,000 customers in 18 days. So it tells you there is something that we have touched that is resonating with the people who consider themselves to be small-time investors, but they are really good. These are our future investors. These are our future Chris Kirubis. Another thing that really excites me about Chums is that Chums is not your typical app. It is very behavioral based. It encourages people to form good habits. So, for example, when someone is having fun on Friday after a challenging week, they are rewarding themselves. As they are having fun and they are paying the M-Pesa, Chums sends a prompt and say, "We can see you are having fun. Can you also put 500 bob to reward yourself in your Chums account?" And guess what? Many people really have appreciated that prompt, because that would have gone to one more task, one more thing, Yeah. So it's really integrated with the behavior of the people. Another thing that excites me about Chums, we are a very group-based, communal-based society. If it is a wedding, people form committees. If it is funerals, people form committees. Guess what? You don't need a pay bill number anymore.
Yep.
You can start a group in Chums for your wedding committee or for their funeral committee, and money will and that committee will be on the app, and they will approve any release of funds for disbursement, and every shilling that is put in that group through that group in Chums, it starts earning immediately.
Yep.
So even if we withdraw it after 1 week or 2 weeks, it comes with profits.
With its babies.
It comes with babies. It comes with babies. So these are some of the things that really are exciting us. And then the other thing that really excites me about Chums is very goal-based. Actually, Chums is about goals.
Yep.
So there are people who are doing 52-week challenge. How do I keep investing for 52 weeks, and they are competing? There are people who are using it, like for example, I use it for my children to reward them. So as I'm rewarding them, I say, you've just done a good thing. Here is 1,000 bob to your Chums account.
It's Chums times.
It's Chums time. Yeah. So it is, and it really excites the kids. In fact, that is one of the surprises for us, how customers have converted Chums to be something they use for educating children about investing or helping their children to invest. Yeah. So like now I have an account for each of my children on Chums. So Chums has so much to offer. There are so many goals. You can even take someone on a date. Yeah, you can put a goal to take someone on a date. You can put a goal to go on holiday. You can put a goal on anything. So Chums is literally bringing Nabo to your phone. And behind Chums, then all the investment decisions are being done by Nabo. And those through regulated funds. So Chums is linked to our funds.
So even when you send an M-Pesa to Chums,
yes,
the name that comes out is Nabo Capital.
Yes, because remember, we are touching on so many people. So this is of public interest, and CMA is very interested in safeguarding money that is for the public. So it invests only in regulated products. So all the things that I've mentioned, the safety features of money market fund, the safety features of fixed income, all of them apply to Chums. So Chums is we are literally coming to your house through your phone. It is a phenomenal thing. In fact, for me, Chums is the M-Pesa of investment. Chums is the M-Pesa of investment, and I'm sure we'll see that in the coming years.
I'm glad I shot this before you got to 1 million Chums customers.
Yes.
Pius, a big thank you. This is only part 1.
Yes.
The audience is going to call you back, and you will see, because you've touched. It feels like you've gone deep, but you haven't, because I know there's so much more value you can give.
Yeah.
But you've demystified that which people may not have understood. There's a lot of financial jargon, and part of the reason why I like doing this class and session on different matters is because the experts, the very best in the field, come sit here and they break it down in such a way that the layman, the young people, the old people who even may not have understood this, the peers who may not understand this because they're in different fields, we're all gifted differently. But money is a topic that touches all of us. You've demystified it in a way that is very, very easy to understand. And therefore, that understanding then pushes us to action. So if you're listening, all the Nabo Capital details are here. If you want more information, Nabo Capital also have a YouTube channel and now on all different social media platforms. Pius himself is also on the different social media platforms, so also follow him. And continue, begin, and talk about investing with purpose. Photos. Wait, okay. Just just do another intro again. I feel like his energy has even changed a bit. That's it. Just the same thing.
Another. Okay.
I've just finished my class in session.
Okay.
Yeah. This one is now the one I'll send you for advertising.
Okay.
Having a conversation on investment with purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, I can cut the rest.